friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's top 5 topic is our top authors that we discovered this year. And I'm not sure if it means ones that you've read for the first time this year or ones that you have actually discovered for the first time this year. So I'm going to kind of cheat and do a little bit of both. If you like my style, then stick around. Okay, so 5 authors that I had never even heard of before this year, and these aren't in any order, so like don't hate. Colleen Hoover, never heard of her before this year. I picked up Losing Hope, Hopeless, and I picked those up from the library, so I don't have my own copies, but I do have Confess. I haven't read it yet, but Colleen Hoover, you are bae. I absolutely love your writing style. Can't wait to read more from you, but yes, I discovered her this year. Discovered fellow Aquarius Jacqueline Woodson this year with Brown Girl Dreaming. Never heard of her before this. I think she has like one other book out, but not really quite sure. Loved this book, gave it 5 stars. Cece Bell, I'm not sure if she's written anything else, but El Defo, really enjoyed this, of course. Renee Ahdieh, of course, debut author. Hadn't heard of her before this year, obviously. I know that she's been around and she has quite a few other books out, if I'm not mistaken, but Sophie Kinsella, just recently read this. Never really heard of her or read anything from her before this year. Now, let's get into the top 5 authors that I have discovered this year, meaning the top 5 authors that I'm picking that I have read from this year. I've heard of them before, but I haven't read them until this year, so I personally have not discovered them until this year. Does that make sense? Okay, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing, people. Just like the first part of this list, this is in no particular order. Colleen Hoover made it back on this list, and that's because not only have I not heard from her, but I discovered her this year and absolutely loved her books that I've read. I have read Hopeless and Losing Hope, and I got those from the library. I do want to pick up my own copies, but come on, how beautiful is this cover? Am I right? The next author that I discovered for the first time this year is Veronica Rossi. I read her Under the Never Sky trilogy, and when I mean I discovered her, I mean I fell in love with her books so much. I'm once again telling you that I used some quotes in her books in my wedding vows this summer. She allowed me to. It was awesome. It went over really well, and it's really special to me, and they'll always hold a special place in my heart for that particular reason alone. Then, as you know, I just jumped on the bandwagon of the Throne of Glass series, and I absolutely love this. So Sarah J. Maas, I know who you are now, and I'm going to continue reading this series. I went to the Baltimore Book Festival last month, and I discovered and met personally an author and picked up the first 4 books in her series, the Maureen Kincaid series, and that is Rachel Rawlings. That was a super awesome experience to meet her in person and pick up all of her books and be able to purchase them directly from the author. That was awesome. I have read the first book this month, and I have the other 3 books still to go. And last but definitely not least, of course I have heard of this author before. We have all heard of this author before, but Gwen, until this year, has never read anything by this author. And I read book 1 and book 2 of this series, and that series and author is the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling. Yes, I know, totally behind on this series. I should have totally read it when I was younger, but it wasn't really kind of a thing. So I'm getting on the bandwagon now. Huge fan of the movies, huge fan of these 2 books, and I am sure I will love the rest of the series. So those are authors that I have either discovered or discovered, if you know what I'm saying, this year. I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye!